All right, welcome back for another edition of What's Up Next for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Don't forget to please like and subscribe. Got Chris Goodman here with me today, and Chris, tell me what you thought about the LSU game this weekend.
Well, my thoughts are probably what everybody else's is, and that's Mark Curls should never officiate another Arkansas game ever again, or officiate a game ever again. But we played good, and they played good. I mean, obviously a little bit better to win. 0 for 10 on third down, you can't. In SEC play, you cannot have that. In any game, you can't have that. But a lot of good things happened. Felipe Franks was like 6 of 6 or 5 of 5 on the bombs downfield. Like you always say, why don't we throw the Hail Mary more? And, I mean, we didn't have an incompletion on throws 35 plus down the field, 35 or 20 plus down the field. Mike Woods had like 2 or 3 catches for almost 200 yards, if not more than 200. A lot of good things happened for Arkansas, but unfortunately, too many bad things happened, and we weren't able to win. We had the chance to kick the game-tying field goal, and it got blocked. So, it is what it is.
I hate to sound like one of those conspiracy theory guys, saying, oh, it's rigged and they're out to get us. Why does it always feel like that, though?
Well, and this year it's more evident than ever, but the SEC is going to protect its top-tier teams. It's Alabama's, it's LSU's, Florida, Georgia. It's going to protect those teams because as a league, they want the league to look good. They don't care who is good. They want those teams to look good. So if Arkansas was a top 3 team consistently in the nation, they'd maybe try and help us a little bit. But that's why Arkansas, we've sucked the last 2 years. That's why we got Georgia and Florida as our add-on games. That's why we got them, because the league looked at Arkansas and was like, okay, they're trash. Okay, Florida's good and Georgia's good. Let's give them Arkansas. And whereas Alabama got like Missouri and Kentucky, I think. So I mean, they're going to protect their upper echelon teams or however, but and then as far as the game being rigged, Mark Curls is just a terrible referee. I mean, to go to replay and he still get the call wrong, that's on him. I mean, that's not on the league, that's not anybody, that's on him, and I don't know why he's still a referee.
So you're saying it possibly could be rigged, and it could be, if somehow they could prove that the SEC was, Curl's getting some type of bonus. I mean, how many plays this year, and you said it's more evident than ever this year as far as proof of it being rigged against Arkansas. I mean, how many plays this year have the refs blatantly miscalled that have cost Arkansas the game? I mean, I'm thinking Auburn comes to mind, and then you brought up a couple plays with LSU.
Mm-hmm.
The targeting and then the fumble.
Yeah. I wouldn't so much as say that it's rigged against Arkansas per as a whole in the league. The league just likes to protect its upper playing teams by giving them the bottom feeding teams to play. Because who knows? I mean, if Arkansas was better, we could have upset Georgia, upset Florida, and we could be the top team in the West right now, going into Alabama week. But
when you say the word protect the more popular teams, I mean, how do you think the referees are responding to that? And they're giving them the maybe even if it's not rigged, maybe it's subconsciously they're like, we're going to give LSU or Auburn the benefit of the doubt, give them those calls. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it could happen, and it's happened before. Mark Curls. If a lot of Razorback fans remember back in 2009, I believe, when Florida was one of the best teams in the nation, Tim Tebow was still there, one of the best teams in the nation. Arkansas was going to upset them, had every opportunity to beat them, but had those opportunities at the same time taken away by the refs. I had to go back and remember, but there was a call missed in the end zone where an Arkansas player could have picked the ball off against Florida. Not this year, but 2009, could have picked Tim Tebow off to help us win the game, but there was a blatant offensive pass interference that was missed by Mark Curls, same referee, reffing crew, or referee at least, I don't know about the crew. and then a couple other calls. Whereas in this game, like you said, the fumble, how it wasn't an immediate recovery, I don't know, goes right back to the Auburn game. And then the targeting call, and it's crazy that there was 2 targeting calls in the same game where one is blatant. I'm not saying that the LSU DB was trying to hit the player dirty. You never hope that. But he did lead a little lower, head was down, and hit Mike Woods, I believe, in the head and neck area. And then what didn't help the LSU...
With his helmet.
Yes. What didn't help his case was he got up, and flexed on him and was like, yeah, let him know he hit him.
Kind of rubbed it in a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what didn't help his case. Had he hit him and then got up and walked away, maybe he had an argument. But getting up like that and flexing, that's not a good look. Jalen Catalon, on the other hand, for Arkansas, went to avoid the hit, kind of curled up, hit him with the side, and then after the hit, kind of got up, looked around, and walked away. Like, okay, it was a big hit. Let me, okay, walk away. The only player even near the hit that reacted was Bumper Poole, and that's when he reacted to the flag being thrown, because he was like, like every other person in the nation except Mark Curls, was like, how was that a targeting call?
Right, because I thought targeting was specifically helmet to helmet, like, like spearing them.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the rule book, it's like intentional contact to the head or neck area, or forcible contact to the head or neck area, launching, lowering of the helmet. Pretty much everything that Jalen Catalon didn't do is what targeting is. He didn't. I don't even think his elbow may have clipped the LSU receiver's helmet. It was a big hit. I'm not saying it wasn't just a huge hit, but targeting it wasn't targeting.
So what could the SEC, or really the NCAA, what could they do as a whole to hold referees more accountable for costing teams the game? I mean, a couple bad play calls have cost the Razorbacks a couple games this year. So
yeah.
I mean, what more could the NCAA and the SEC do to hold referees accountable for making bad, crucial play calls?
Well, I think what needs to happen first is there needs to be an appeal process for these targeting calls. Now, there have been a lot of targeting calls that are blatant targeting, but for cases like this, and this is probably what's going to happen to Arkansas, the same that it did for Auburn, is they're going to go back and they're going to change the rule of targeting, where there will be an appeal process. You can send the video to some job position they're going to create up in NCAA headquarters, where you can send the guy the video to appeal a targeting call. And then, for guys like Mark Curls, who are just terrible referees, he got suspended after the 2009 Florida game. I want to say it was 2009, because of how bad that officiating crew screwed up that game. They got suspended. So suspensions, fines, fire them. You never want to see or hope that a guy is going against Arkansas like the way Mark Curls has on purpose. Maybe he's just a terrible referee. I've never watched games where he's officiated outside of Arkansas games. So, I think suspensions, fines, fire them, whatever you got to do, and then bring in an appeal process where a guy can look at this video, look at the Jalen Catalon case, and say, okay, no, that wasn't a targeting call. He is now reinstated and can play next week. Because, when you lose a guy like Jalen Catalon, that's huge. That's arguably the best player on defense. And you lose a guy of his talents, your whole defense changes. As you can see in the LSU game, or after he got out, I'm pretty sure it was mid-third quarter or late third quarter when he got ejected, our defense changed, and we weren't the same defense. And now going in with Missouri being postponed, we go into Alabama, with our best player out. So, it's already Alabama. Nobody's picking us to win. I'm not going to pick us to win. So now you go into that game without your best player, it gets even worse.
Once upon a time, that was just a good hit.
Yeah. And that's what I was listening to the radio, and Lorenzo Robinson used to play safety for Arkansas a long time ago. He said that him and Ken Hamlin, I believe was his name, that were safeties at Arkansas. Their job was to literally, lack of better words, kill the receiver if they came across the middle like that. It was their job to take that guy out. And now it's almost, like you hear people saying all the time, where the defender's supposed to just stand there and let the guy catch the ball and kind of just, tap him. I understand player safety, but at the same time, there has to be, almost like in government, there has to be checks and balances to what these rules are and what is the rule. And it's just a whole lot of tricky business now that they've brought targeting in.
Yeah, Ken Hamlin, the Hammer. Yeah, he used to.
Yeah.
A perfect example. He would have been every hit that he made would have been targeting.
Yeah, and it's crazy how much the game has changed.
Well, Arkansas. I was impressed that Arkansas was up against the defending national champions in the fourth quarter. It's sad that we couldn't have won. I really am very proud of the Hogs this year. I wish we would have won. But moving forward, with Missouri, the game's canceled or postponed this week due to COVID.
Yeah.
Do you think that we pick up the week after next, or do you think they postpone it till the end of the season, or how do you think that works?
Well, I think it's really a tricky situation because we postponed, and it was Arkansas that had to postpone the game. Against LSU, we were already thin, and it just kind of got worse going into this week. So we had to postpone the game, which then the league was like, okay, well, Missouri and Vanderbilt will play. Instead of Vanderbilt playing Tennessee, Vanderbilt will play Missouri this weekend and make their game up. It's just whatever the league wants to do. There's a whole lot of moving parts to it. As of right now, Arkansas is still playing Alabama next weekend. Not this weekend, but the next. December 5th, I think, is that date. And then after that, now we're getting close to SEC championship time, in which Alabama's going to be playing in that out of the West. So Arkansas and Missouri could possibly make up our game then. Like I said, it's just a whole lot of moving parts and a whole lot of moving the schedule around up in SEC headquarters.
Well, hopefully not many more games are canceled around the SEC or the country, because how could you possibly reschedule them and going farther and farther into the year?
Yeah.
But also going in, basketball starting up for the Hogs, and the Hogs play tonight or tomorrow.
No, it's tomorrow night.
They play tomorrow night, and so how do you think Musselman and the Hogs do this year?
I think we're going to be very good. From what I saw in the red and white game, Moses Moody is probably going to be the best player we've had in a while. He could be a one and done this year. Then you got more guys coming in. There's so many new faces. I still don't even know who is who on the team. I know we got a transfer in from Indiana, a transfer in from Jacksonville State, I think, or one of those teams. Like I said, I don't even remember who all. And the basketball team should be electric. They should be way better rebounding this year. The three-point shot should be better than last year, which is saying a lot because it was good last year. We open up against Mississippi Valley State tomorrow, in which, I think they're in the SWAC still. That's a team Arkansas should just steamroll over. It should be a practice, with another team there tomorrow night. I hate to talk bad about Mississippi Valley State because I have a couple of friends that went there, but Arkansas should just absolutely demolish them.
Well, good. That's good to hear. I also want to say a little congratulations to Isaiah Joe and Mason Jones for getting picked up. I really think the Sixers did a good job getting Isaiah Joe. They already have a really solid center in Embiid, and then they're getting all these shooters to complement him on the outside, and so and plus with the getting Doc Rivers, they should be a really dominant team in the East here. Maybe as soon as next year, depending on how well Isaiah Joe and some of the other guys can shoot the ball. And with Mason Jones, he might have fallen into a perfect spot, especially if Harden leaves and goes to the Nets, and they would need a player to step in and take that role. Mason Jones loves to shoot the ball, so he would love that opportunity as a rookie.
Yeah.
Hopefully they both do well, and I wish them all the luck in the world. And so, anything else you'd rather say about the basketball team or the football team moving forward?
No, I'm just going to caveat off what you said about Isaiah Joe and Mason Jones. Good luck to him. I think Isaiah Joe has a really good shot at playing for the 76ers for a while. And Mason Jones, that may have been the steal of the draft, and he wasn't even drafted. You got a guy who scored 60 points like 2 or 3 times, or not 60, 30 points, or he may have scored 60. I can't remember.
I still don't understand how the co-SEC Player of the Year can go undrafted.
I mean, I don't either, but he's getting his chance, and I'm sure Mason Jones, with his drive and his work ethic, he's going to make, almost a Tom Brady story. He's going to make every other team pay for the next couple of years that they didn't draft him, and he's going to, he's going to be very good. He's going to work. He's going to continue to get better. Same with Isaiah Joe, and same with every other Razorback that may not be in the NBA right now, but playing overseas or anywhere else. They're going to continue to get better. They're going to continue to drive, and all the best of luck to them.
That's right. Well, thank you, Hog Nation, for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back next week with another episode of What's Next for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Thank you.